He's done training for us. He's always in. His wife is just amazing. And what I'm doing is I just jumped off the call with one of the superstars, and I didn't get a chance to get in here to get everything together. But let me show where we're going with this company and where we're going with this idea that I have that's going to make us all very wealthy. It's being prepared, being prepared. Preparedness is also important. Now, one of the things about being prepared is we all are learning how to use scripts, and it's because scripts pay off in a big way. And what am I doing? You know what I'm doing? Let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm looking for my script. Can I be truthful with you? Because we all go through this. We're all learning. We're all learning. I was talking to Miss Evelyn yesterday about how Mr. Greg Primozano pulled me to the side in San Diego, California, after I got off stage in front of 2,500 people doing a regional. He did one of these numbers. He goes, Mr. Al, you forgot one thing. I go, yes, sir. What was that? You forgot to say they get 3 customers in their first 30 days and you get paid. Not that when they get them, but it's got to be in their first 30 days. I went like, see, I even make mistakes. So don't think because I'm senior vice president, we don't make, yes, we do. We learn too. So everything I'm giving you is some things that I learned. Let me tell you about our guest speaker today. I am jacked up sideways because we had a little chit chat yesterday. This young man has changed drastically in the last 3 weeks, and I'm just so proud of him. Let me tell you about Mr. Chris King, our guest speaker. See, I got my script right here, 7 points. Whoop, there it went. Number 1, he used to be a fire captain in the Central Valley of California. Number 2, the state cut his pay by $5,000 per month. Now think about that, $5 grand a month, that's 60 grand a year. He almost lost his beautiful home until a friend of his introduced him and his wife to the ACN opportunity. Him and his wife are both regional directors. They're a powerhouse team down in Fresno. Let me tell you something, I couldn't do without these guys. Their upline quit, they kept going. And you know, they're just the kind of people I consider a true leader in this business because they stuck through the test of time. They, because of ACN, he no longer works as a fire captain in California. He loves going deer hunting with a bow. Yeah, he's bad. Now, you know, don't mess with a guy who's got a bow in his hand. He spends his days helping people in ACN, and he also loves chasing his wife around their house when it's empty. He's also an excellent cook. So when that guy cooks, people come from miles away. The food ain't got to be good, but they come up anyway. But his food is excellent. Let me tell you something. When I come to town, I look forward to his beef he puts out there, and he lets it marinate 3 or 4 days. And I swear, I said, oh my God, I'm getting hungry now. Without further ado, my dear friend, regional director from Fresno, California, the one and only, can we give a holler to Mr. Chris King?
Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. And I've said it before, I'm truly honored to actually have someone of your caliber actually talk like that about me, and that I'm able to do something through your mentorship. And it's an absolute honor, and thank you so much, sir. All right, everybody, good morning, good morning, good morning. And it is morning. I'm excited to be on this call today, guys. I'm excited to get some information out to you guys. But here's an interesting fact. Wife and I were wondering, what should we talk about? You know, some good ideas, and it's nice having it because someone else to bang ideas off it, whether it's like Mr. Thomas, Mr. Baker, Ms. Ishmael, anybody on here, is to bang those ideas back and forth and basically mastermind. And here's what we found out. We had recently watched a movie, and it's based on a true story. I don't know if any of y'all have watched it. I'll bring up the movie at the end and see if you guys can hear. But so be patient with me. I'm going to read through the story a little bit, but then I got 12 takeaways I want you guys to pay attention to. 12 takeaways for the business, okay? So, true story, and two real quick, guys. This was really put on Rose's heart, and both of us talking back and forth, we're able to put this together. So I wanted you guys to know that. So true story. So let me tell you a story here. Started back in Greenville, Texas in 1985 with a 10-year-old boy named Bart. He was an artistic young man, loved to draw, listen to music, and he would create crafts out of trash and junk. And that was just kind of one of the things he could create something out of nothing, okay? His father, Arthur, was an unhappy man, okay? He was abusive to him and his mom, both physically and emotionally. And it's sad, though, when a child's got to put headphones on to drown out the beatings and the verbal abuse and the abuses his dad was putting his mom through. But that's what he had to do. Like a lot of kids, Bart's mother was his only comfort in this extreme, unstable family. So one morning, Bart's mom woke him up. Hey, get up, Bart, get up. What, Mom, what? You're going to go, I made a phone call, you're going to go to church camp for a week. He's like, Mom, get up, you're going to love it. So he gets up, and on the way there, you know, and the peacefulness in the car riding with his mom, he says, Mom, and he put it, back then it was cassette tapes. Some of y'all don't know what a cassette tape is. Put a cassette tape, yep, put a cassette tape in the car, says, Mom, listen to the words. Listen to the words and just keep driving. Don't ever stop. Because he was at peace with his mom going to this church camp. Well, they got to the church camp and Bart got out and spent a week there. Had the best time of his week. Met a sweet girl that later became his high school sweetheart. And later on, after that, he even got married. But after the week was over, the bus dropped Bart off at home. He was so excited from the best week in his life. He dropped all his clothes there when he got off the bus, ran up to his house, throws the door open, and Dad's sitting there on the recliner watching his football videos from college. People are taking stuff out of the house in boxes. Dad, what's going on? Where's Mom? He said, Mom left us. Mom left us both. The kid was devastated. He was so devastated, he ran back out of the house, chasing the bus down the street or down the dirt road to the house. Hey, take me with you, take me back. But the bus drove on down, so it was him and his dad now, okay? As this boy grew up to a young man, he decided to pursue the one thing his dad had interest in, football, okay? His dad used to be a great college athlete, but he never pursued his football dreams, okay? So what did Bart do? Bart put everything he could into the sport of football. So he's in football, and he's not doing too bad. So one night at dinner, Dad asked him, how many guys does it take to take you down? Bart looks at him and says, one. Dad looks at him with his grimace on his face and says, it used to take the whole team to get me down. The whole team. So what happens at the next day of practice? Bart could hear his dad saying in his head, took the whole team to take me down. So play came, Bart got the ball, boom, one tackle, boom, two guys, boom, three guys, and he's still going and driving. All of a sudden, boom, down to the ground he goes, and he rolls over in pain. See, he received injuries to both his feet, which made it impossible for him to ever play football again. The one thing he was hoping would connect him and his dad. Okay? So with no football to play, he had to choose another elective. So it's always the women in our lives. His girlfriend signed him up for the Glee Club. He's like, what? So the teacher asks, so he goes in, the teacher asks, can you sing? He said, no. He said he's in a wheelchair, so he goes, and I can't dance. Both his feet are broke, right? So she goes, I got a job for you. So she put him on the musical dashboard, right? Up there with all the knobs and the volume and everything. So he's up there one day. He's got his headphones on. He's working on the dashboard. He's getting things going, but he's got music playing in the background while he's doing all this work. And you know how we do when we're by ourselves. We think we're by ourselves. He starts singing, right? Not realizing the Glee Club teacher's down there listening, can hear this. She found out he was an amazing singer. So without Bart's knowledge, she assigned him to a lead, right? A lead in the school musical. Once he found out about it, he says, I ain't doing this. No, I can't do this. I can't say, look, she said, look, Bart, you're going to do this. I'm not changing my mind. Don't worry. She says, you'll be off crutches by then. You can walk around, and I'm going to walk you through everything, so you'll be fine. So get that. Being forced to perform, right? He soon discovered his calling and his passion, right? So during the musical, he's singing away, and his father was eating at a cafe and found a flyer, right, for the musical with his son's name on it, that he was one of the leads. Dad never asked him to go check it out. So he starts getting upset and tries getting up and starts cramping over in his stomach and falls to the ground. Ambulance comes, takes him to the hospital. So what they find out is they want to keep him for further testing. But you know, old school guys, right? Took the whole team to tackle him. I ain't staying. I'm leaving. She goes, you don't understand, Arthur. You got a mass that could be cancerous. You need to have this checked out. Nope, I'm fine. So Bart gets there and Dad's getting ready to leave. He's like, Dad, what's wrong? Oh, it was nothing. Just some low blood sugar. They got it figured out. I'll be fine. And Dad leaves, right? So back at home the next morning, Bart and Arthur were at the table eating, and his dad brought up the musical about the flyer, why he wasn't invited. And Bart told him, I didn't think you wanted to go. Well, they started to build and create a confrontation where his dad ended up smashing this is the next morning. His dad ends up smashing the food plate on Arthur's head, causing him to bleed. So Bart gets up and leaves. The confrontation's there. They're done. He was going to church to sing. That's why he was in a tie, right? So he gets to church to sing. And after Bart left, he told his father, he says, I didn't ask you because I didn't think you wanted to go again. And this was the last incident that occurred between him and his father before Bart left, right? And joined a Christian band and traveled through the United States in hopes of pursuing the one thing he loved and doing in hopes of recognition. Well, see, Bart was the singer of this band and would sometimes write his own songs, but most of those bands when they're starting out sing other people's songs, right? So during the group's tour, a well-known manager named Scott Brickle showed up at one of the group's performances because, listen, Bart had written this gentleman every week for the past 2 years. So the guy finally shows up. Mr. Brickle said the group was good, but they hadn't found their song yet. So he said, Bart talked him into going on tour with him, so he went for a couple of cities with him on tour and realized that he needs to book a bigger event for this guy. So he leaves, booking a bigger event at Nashville. So they get to Nashville with this event, right? And Mr. Brickle had actually invited some recording artists down, some music producers down to listen to Bart because he thought they might have what it took, right? So when they get there, he gets to meet Michael W. Smith. Y'all remember him? Amy Grant. Y'all remember her? Gets to meet them and talk with them, and he's just ecstatic, right? After the event was over, they got to wait. The whole band's waiting in the back room, and the manager's out doing the talking, right? So Bart can't take it anymore. He busts out there and, all right, guys, give it to me. I'm hard. Give it to me. I can take it, right? So Bart finds out the harsh truth. Guys tell him, you want it hard? I'll tell you hard. You're not ready for this. You're not good enough. After he was told that by these recording artists and these producers, right? What do you think happened? He reverted back to hearing his father's constant voice in his head saying, dreams don't pay bills. Nothing comes from that. All it does is keep you from knowing what's real. Bart was ready to quit. Mr. Brickle, we'll call him his manager or his mentor, encouraged him and brought him out and told him what he already knew, that he had a dark past, right? A dark past with hurts, and that he had a song inside him, and his song needed to be found. He needed to do that, right? So from that conversation, Bart decided he needed to go home and face it. So he went home. In the morning, he came to the kitchen table. The table was set. There was food out there. His father had made breakfast. He said, yeah, I heard you come in the night before, so I made breakfast for you. That's not how his whole life was. This is the first time that ever happened, right? Bart had always been the one that had to have food on the table, right? Bart had to have things ready, but his dad did. There was something different about his dad. He was not the same man. He was gentle, wanted to pray before he ate. Bart soon discovered his dad had become saved, but Bart was still angry. How can this man who abused him in so many ways all of a sudden be the father to him? Right? He couldn't let the anger go and walked out of the house to leave. Guess what? Motorcycle wouldn't start. So he goes to Dad's truck. Guess what? No keys in ignition. Where does one look on a farm when the keys are in ignition? The visor. He pulls the visor down. Yep, there you go, Mr. Thomas. Pulls the visor down. There's no keys there, but there's a pamphlet on pancreatic cancer and a letter from the doctor. Okay? So Bart goes back inside, realizing his dad was sick, finds his dad smashing this Jeep in the barn with a baseball bat. The Jeep, just moments earlier, Arthur had asked his son, hey, let's start working on that together. But because of what happened, now he's destroying the one thing he was hoping would connect him and his son. His father collapsed to the ground out of exhaustion, and Bart eventually walks over, because Bart at the time now sees he's got to let things go to move forward. So Bart picks his dad up, asks his dad, are you dying, Dad? So here's what's cool. Bart, so now he's connecting with his dad again. He's forgiven his dad. He's trying to let things go. But here's what he found. Because Bart found an old journal up in his room that he had written in 10 years ago, or when he was 10 years old, right? From church camp. And it was about forgiveness. And it said in the journal, I choose to forgive. And there wasn't a name on there. There was nothing. Just those words, I choose to forgive. But at that moment, he wrote his dad's name down. And for the remainder of his father's life, he was able to experience a life with a father he always wanted. Some of the last moments moments he had with his dad were him and his dad going to church together. Something he never thought possible. And before Dad passed, Dad told him, right? The realization on our deathbed. I told you not to follow your dreams because mine never came true. But you're not me. You're not like me. You have a gift, a real gift. His father gave him his life insurance policy and says, use this to pay for everything, and right? So you don't have to worry about money. Pay attention to your dreams. Chase your dreams, catch them, and don't ever look back. Bart was able not only to forgive, but to let go and move forward with his past. And later, he joined back with his band. His father passed away. He joined back with his band to pursue his music career. Shortly after, the group was sitting on the bus looking through his journal. They're traveling to another city. And he kept going through his journal. He was finding this message. Imagine. Stuff that he had wrote down years ago. I can only imagine. Imagine. I can only imagine. All through his journal. He said he realized his message was clear with tears in his eyes. His song was clear. His story was clear. And in 10 minutes, was able to write a triple platinum, most played single of all times, which today is called I Can Only Imagine. It's an amazing song, and knowing what it meant to him, he wanted to get his story out to everybody, right? So we decided the biggest chance he had was to let Miss Amy Grant have his song and play it, because she could do it, all right? So this would be the last song she would play on each tour, okay? So, first concert, Miss Grant's going to play this song. She plays her whole tour, right? The last song comes, and the music starts. Miss Grant's going to play a song. And Miss Grant knows in her heart, it's not her song. It's not her story. So she stopped. She couldn't do it. She brought Bert up on stage, or Bart. She said, the moment doesn't belong to me. It belongs to you. She told Bart, you're going to perform this song. He got up there. I think he was a little nervous, though. There's thousands of people in this thing. Right? He sang the song. The whole concert room for the first time. It was absolutely beautiful and breathtaking. The crowd stood to their feet. The applause was incredible. Bart had found his song, and the world loved it. Bart, this is how cool this song became, because Bart was invited to the National Prayer Breakfast. President, vice president, world leaders, everybody, and got to tell his story and sing his song. That's Bart's story. Now, the 12 takeaways to apply to your life and business are. Sorry, guys. It's a good movie. Limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. Number one, Bart's father continued to live in what he could have become with his football dreams. But sometimes we have to realize people will limit you on your dreams because they never pursued their own. How many of you live in yourself? How many of us limit ourselves? Because I'm in this boat. Number two, living other people's dreams. Okay, Bart wanted to make his father happy, so he tried to get in with football, right? To have that connection. But sometimes we will do things that are not our dreams and goals, but because we let other people tell us what we think that we might be good at or should do. Now, quick story, my wife, growing up, her mom used to tell her, "You're such a good arguer, you should be an attorney. You're such a good arguer, you should be an attorney." Guess what she started out with in college? To be an attorney. Okay? Didn't follow through, but living someone else's dreams. Number three, stop comparing yourself to others. Bart's father asked him how many people it took to take him down, tackle him. When he said one, his father said it used to take the whole team to take me down. See, we listen to other people's success from the past and we'll compare ourselves to them, pushing to a place where we are not meant to be because it's not even our dream in the first place. Number four, there is a price to be paid. Amy Grant told Bart, "It didn't take you 10 minutes to write this song. It took you a lifetime." Some people will get places faster than you because they have more experiences or have had more challenges than us. That doesn't mean they're better. It's just that they have already or are currently willing to go through more rejections and challenges faster or sooner than others. Example, Mr. Thomas has more no's than all of us. When we get to as many no's as Mr. Thomas has, we'll be in that position. The price. All right. Number five, face your fears. Bart left home because of the abuse and was tired of the situation he was in. You can't run away from your problems no matter how far you go. They will always follow you. All right? And it wasn't until Bart went back home, and even his manager told him he had to face those fears. Let the pain, and this is what his manager told him, let the pain of your be your inspiration. All right? But to do that, you have to face your biggest fears, and sometimes that means facing them and challenges or hurts from your past. Number six, consistently get results. See, Bart wrote a letter every week for 2 years to Mr. Scott Brickle, music producer, to show up. If you really want something, your persistency and consistency will show. Now think about this. Do the numbers. 52 weeks in a year, 2 weeks. And then 1 letter a week. That's 104 letters in 2 years he wrote. And they didn't have computers. There was no copy paste back then, people. Think about this. Consistency. Number 7, what's your song? What's your why? Bart wasn't good enough because he hadn't found his song yet. So if you haven't found your song, you possibly haven't found your why. Perhaps it's the one reason you're still struggling in this business. We might even say our why is something or someone who is relevant to us because it seems like it's the logical thing or practical thing to say and do, but it's not from our hearts. We're just singing someone else's lyrics to their song. Find your song. Number 8, find a coach or mentor. See, Mr. Brickle continued to push Bart to find his greatness within him. A great mentor will continue to encourage you and push you to be everything he or she knows you can become. See, that all started with the Glee Club instructor. Remember? The Glee Club teacher heard him sing and knew what he could be. Number 9, quitting is not in your vocabulary. During that big event in Nashville, and other musicians and managers told Bart that he just wasn't good enough. Many times rejection will trigger past disappointments and memories of things from your past telling us we're just not good enough, confirming what we're hearing. It'll make us want to quit sometimes, but if you haven't wanted to quit at one point, you might not be really doing the work. Number 10, don't play the blame game. See, Bart never wanted to face the things that made him so angry and guarded, but it hurt the people around him. Many times we will try to sabotage our own possible progress because of the fears by perhaps talking ourselves out of doing something. Self-talk. Make excuses or blaming others. Number 11, your greatest pain can become your greatest victory. See, the irony of his abuse from his father was that his dad was saved listening to the song on the radio, right? He found his son playing on the radio, listening to his song on the radio, and then hearing what the people were saying after his son sang. That's how his dad became saved. See, his actions saved his father, okay? So his son left after this, and his was great. When his son left, right, he's mad, he's leaving, he's on tour. His dad started praying that God would send his son back to him. See, his father used to write a letter to him to come home, but Bart never read the letters. He just threw them away. His abusive father was the man he hated, but later became the man he wanted to become. See, when you're ready to let things go and forgive those people and perhaps disappointments in our lives, we can only then be able to move to greater and better things. See, you got to just let go and let God. Number 12, someone needs to hear your story or song. Bart was going to let Amy Grant sing his song because he believed she could get the message out better than he could. See, don't let someone else be your mouthpiece. Don't let others do what you're able and capable of doing yourself. It's your responsibility to show others that it is truly possible. See, people need to see. So going back through these, that's the 12. Number 1, limiting beliefs. Number 2, living other people's dreams. Number 3, stop comparing yourself. Number 4, there is a price to be paid. Number 5, face your fears. Number 6, consistency gets results. Number 7, what's your song? What's your why? Number 8, find a coach or mentor. Number 9, quitting is not in your vocabulary, baby. 10, don't play the blame game. Number 11, your greatest pain can become your greatest victory. And number 12, somebody needs to hear your song, your why. See, the movie, if you guys haven't decided, is I Can Only Imagine. If you guys haven't watched that movie, you need to watch it or re-watch it. It will bless you, I promise. So in closing, for us, it's time to make new memories, guys. Stop being stuck in the past. It's time for us to start a new chapter in our lives today. So, guys, that's the call. I encourage you today to start that. Take what you've got today and put it into action. God bless you guys. Mr. Thomas.
Wow, 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 wow. The name of the movie, once again, tell them the name of the movie one more time so they can write it down.